Natural gas plunges. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian Heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. I've got my stein of coffee and I just finished watching an episode of In the Interest of the People where Martin and Adam interviewed former Premier of Queensland, Campbell Newman, and I will link to that in a card up above if you haven't watched it. I suggest you have a look. And one of the interesting takeaways from that interview was with regards to Campbell Newman referring to the plunge in price of natural gas or liquid petroleum. And I haven't really been following it at all, to be honest. So I thought, okay, I'll have a look. And I'll jump onto my trading economics and we can see that plunge down from just November, what was it, $2.89 down to $1.84 to today. Just November, a couple of months. Now the reason he mentioned that was because it has a significant impact on the Queensland budget. And a big part of his video was just discussing, was interesting to see his perspective from the outside of just the challenges he faced coming into Parliament here in Queensland and just the state budget and how a whole lot of people don't think it's their problem and don't realize that it's going to affect their cost of living. And I think he's right on the money there. Most people don't understand the implications of all this government debt, the government waste, government spending. They just want all the free stuff. They don't realize that you always pay for it in the end, one way or another. So this was quite interesting. This got me thinking because I've been doing a lot of talking. I mean, we look at the Observatory of Economic Complexity, particularly iron ore, the falling price of iron ore. We've been discussing that and how particularly WA is going to be impacted by that significantly. But we also have to realize the falling price of natural gas is going to have a big impact on Queensland. And I brought some things up here just to try and get an understanding of the budget. And this is the 2019 budget, and we're going to have a look at the winners and losers of the budget. This is from halfway through the year, but it's good for us to get an understanding. And, you know, the biggest loser, and this here should be the only thing that really matters to all of us, because it means everyone in the state is a loser. You know, Queensland state debt sits at $71.4 billion, but will soar to a massive $90 billion within 4 years. Now, this is before we had, because this is the middle of last year, this is before we've had all the bushfires, we've had the natural disasters around the nation beaming and destroying our tourism industry, before we've had the essential quarantine of the entire nation state of China, destroying, well, demand for goods and services there, and then the flow-on effect to the global economy, a reduction in international student numbers. Because if we point out how primitive the Australian economy is, Queensland's also right up there, guys. Our state economy is not that sophisticated, isn't that complex. So you can see here what, we've got a $70 billion budget. It's going to blow up to $90 billion. The government is trumpeting an operating surplus this year of 841 and is forecasting a smaller one of 189. So there you go. I mean, this is to give an understanding of just how big the debt is. I mean, look at all the, how are they going to help mining? I mean, okay, this is all just propaganda piece. So this is where we can see some numbers. Now we'll jump over here. This is the Queensland government's, message from the Treasurer. Since 2015, 199,000 jobs have been created under the Postage government. Okay, sure. That's what you think. We'll see. Queensland has got one of the highest rates of unemployment in the country at the moment. So they're backing Queensland's jobs, fantastic. But we'll go down here to economic and fiscal, and let's have a look at the economic growth. So the Queensland is in blue. That's the forecast, and this is the Queensland actual and Australian actual. So 2010, 2011, Queensland was growing well above the rest of the country, and then we went below, above, far below, above, far below. Doesn't seem very sustainable, does it? Look at that, 2010, 2011. How bad Queensland was going. 28. 2009. And here are the forecasts. All of a sudden, it's just going to stabilize then, essentially. They're predicting, what is it, just under 3% growth. And this is brand new. So how's Queensland? Well, the whole country. Are we going to even get 3% growth? Let's look at our GDP growth on growth rates are trending down from the latest data. And yet they're predicting 3% growth. Okay, this is the employment growth that they're forecasting. So 2019, 2020. Okay, just look at job adverts are trending down, guys. Let's look at the unemployment rate. And this is the ABS unemployment rate, not the Roy Morgan unemployment rate, which has gone up. And, I mean, okay, where's this coming from? Because this is just a touchy-feely presentation. There are no actual numbers here. There are no numbers. And we can see here, so 2023, they're expecting, hundreds of thousands of jobs, but they're not showing us the population growth to see if that's relative. It's not showing us the percentage employment. None of that here. It's just, this is a propaganda piece. We have to understand what we're looking at. But what's interesting is here, Queensland's overseas goods and exports, and billions of dollars. Now look at this. Look at the yellow band, which is growing. This is the LNG sector. And this is what Newman referred to in his interview with John and Martin, and how that it is crashing. It is crashing, and some exporters or buyers are at risk. Sellers are at risk now. Do you think if a project was, well, let's jump out. Let's go to 10 years. Let's see when the last time was at this. 2016, and before 2012. So these rates are definitely low dips. They're definitely low dips. Is anyone going to be buying some natural gas options now or futures now? Who's going to take the risk expecting it to go up from here? But if it stays at this rate for a long period, well, it's going to, I'd question the viability of some of these projects to run, and then the impact on the budget, because look at what they're predicting our export sector to be. Billions of dollars there. You've got agriculture as well, and that's going to take a hit with all of the environmental and disease impacts that are happening around the world, the shutdowns. What else do we have? We've got thermal coal that no one likes. Just look at all the protests against Adani. And then down here you've got metallurgical coal. And this is coming from a government that is really, really against even Australia having its own coal plant. They want to increase our power costs. I was discussing with Stuart last night, having a chat with him, a fan of the channel. And he'd mentioned, well, Australia, sure, we have steel production capabilities, but you got to remember the power costs. Think about it. To make the Chinese steel manufacturing that we all bring over here, it's cheaper power over there than here. That's going to add to the cost. And do we even have the capacity to do it when certain parts of our country are at risk of blacking out? So we can have a look here. Here's the revenue, other revenue, state taxation revenue, grants, sales of goods and services, interest income, dividends, but they don't give us totals, do they? They don't show us here that they're just digging deeper and deeper into debt. I really question, where is this employment growth coming from? I mean, look at that, what they're predicting. Is it just from population growth? And what revenue growth are they predicting as well? But we'll see here. I mean, if this remains suppressed, what else do we have? Hang on, we've got thermal coal or metallurgical coal. Let's just have a look at coal, guys. What's coal going at here? How's it doing? Agriculture, livestock, industrial, coal. We'll just jump to it here just to get an understanding. Well, there you go. It's at $70 a ton. Let's go to all-time high. So it's up from 2016 at 56. I remember when it hit to that. That's when all of a sudden a whole lot of mining projects we worked on weren't feasible anymore. But we can see here, 70, still a drastic fall from over 100 in just September. So that will, all of this will also reduce the royalties the state can claim and impact their bottom line. So I thought that was quite an interesting takeaway from that interview. That, well, this sector that I haven't really been looking at much. I've been mainly focusing on iron ore demands, but seeing that plunge in natural gas and the effect that could have on the Queensland budget, It's concerning. So guys, if you haven't checked out that interview, I encourage you to do it. I think it was a great one. What do you think this this will all say for the state of Queensland or for the nation? Do you think Queensland is going to avoid a recession? Do you think the citizens of our great state will even realise that these things will impact them on a day-to-day? Maybe this is why our licences keep going up, why our registration fees keep going up, while every little tax the state can squeeze out of you will keep going up. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below, guys. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan, there's a few ways you can support us. Please share the videos on social media. Let your friends know at barbecues. If you want to support us a bit extra, you can use Patreon or subscribe to the channel here. We've got affiliate links with Independent Reserve, Amazon and eBay. We sell merch on the HeiseSays website, and PayPal, you contribute that way. Thank you all very much, guys. Have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.